Carlos Correa, a huge part of the storyline this afternoon. A pair of home runs in a 6-2 Houston lead. Top half of the 8th inning. Bottom of the order here for Kansas City. Alex Rios, then Escobar and Zobrist. And a base hit to start things in the visitors' 8th.
The second half of that prediction, Matt, Springer said he thought he was going to hit a double as well. That didn't quite work out, but obviously 1 out of 2 ain't bad there.
Yeah, I think he only had the chance for one result, and they got the one they wanted in the home run. Leadoff hitter aboard. Here's Alcides Escobar, who's been hit by a pitch today. For those of you tuning in for Game 4 of the Blue Jays Rangers series, we'll get you out there immediately at the conclusion of this one. In the meantime, it's available on MLB Network and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. An elimination game in Arlington. The Rangers trying to finish off visiting Toronto.
Well, for Harris, you obviously don't want to give up a lot of traffic on the bases, but you're going to have to make him beat you with hits. Rios picking on the first pitch and lining it in the left field corner. Damage control now.
2-1. And it's to 2-2 on Alcides Escobar. Middle of the Kansas City order will have at least one more opportunity in this one.
Will Harris has that combination we've talked about with the Astros love. High fastballs and cutters, and then curveballs off of it. He's like one of their starters coming out of the bullpen, whether it's McHugh, McCullers. This is the combination that not only A.J. Hinch, but Brent Strom, their pitching coach, loves.
Bounced up the middle, a base hit. And that brings the tying run into the on-deck circle. This Kansas City team capable of that kind of late charge and trying to sum it up. Similar late magic here today.
And once you go through something like that, it's not like you can push a button and always come back dramatically like that, but you know it's in the back of your mind that you've done it. So you put together good at bats. You try to pass the baton on as a hitter and say, I'll do my part, you do yours, following that at bat.
Strike one to Ben Zobrist. You know, you can't say that it was a turning point in the game because Houston led. But one of the biggest discussion points in this game came with Terrence Gore being called out on that stolen base, that steal of third in the 7th. A call was overturned after replay. It's been one of the bigger replay reviews this postseason, if not the biggest. The Chase Utley play got a lot of discussion in the Mets-Dodgers series. That's lined into center field. Gomez coming on. He can't make the catch, and that loads the bases with nobody out. 3 straight singles against Will Harris. Canes 0 for 3 today. A couple of strikeouts against Lance McCullers.
And you knew when Strom went out to talk to Harris that ideally they would have liked to have gotten to this point without the bases loaded, but Sip is up in the bullpen, and Sip will come in for Hosmer.
The Royals have been very good this year with the bases loaded. A .299 team batting average, the 10th best mark in baseball.
The Astros are trading outs for runs because now you got bases loaded, nobody out, and you try to do serious damage control. And if you're obviously the Royals, you're just trying to get closer. You know, if you could tie the game up or take the lead, that would be unbelievable. But you want to get closer. So productive runs in this inning are huge because you know you're going to face Gregerson.
The 1-1 to Kane. Swing and a base hit into left. It'll score at least one. Here's Rios to score easily. And the Royals Royals, as they've done all year long, keep the line moving. It's a 3-run lead for Houston. Bases loaded, a run in, nobody out.
Oh, man, that's dead red was coming, and he just got it outside the sweet zone.
He threw it high enough that Hosmer couldn't do anything with it.
What that does now, you escape that first pitch, right? The aggressive momentum of the Royals. Now you can go to that slider and see if you can expand the zone from Hosmer.
Tony Sipp, one of the most effective left-handed American League relievers during the regular season, and he's appeared in every game this postseason for Houston. Hosmer swats that one into the corner and foul, falling behind 0-2. 0 for 3 today and 2 for his last 14 with runners in scoring position.
There ever was a time. Right now, Eric Hosmer, season on the line, series on the line, everything on the line right here off a tough left-handed pitcher. This is when the Royals, he's your 3-hole hitter, your 4-hole hitter, your cleanup hitter, the guy you're counting on. This is when you need to pick it up.
Kendrys Morales waits next. Bases loaded, a run in, nobody out. After a 3-run 7th by the Astros, Kansas City has countered immediately. Sipp's 2-strike pitch.
Sipp has been really good. Slider, slash, and changeup. Fastball command has put him in a nice situation. Although he got a Hosmer to swing at 2 pitches out of his zone.
Escobar, Zobrist, and Kane aboard with nobody out. The 1-2. And Hosmer lays off.
A great take.
There's the slider you were talking about when you said he's going to attack him with sliders. The last 2 pitches have shown he went fastballs up the first 2 pitches, and then these last 2 sliders have been really good takes by Eric Hosmer. You see him start to go, he's able to lay off.
What we call action pitch when you're a pitcher. You don't want to have to go to 3-2 if you can avoid it. You want something to happen right here, preferably good if you're Sipp.
The 2-2 to Hosmer. Swung on, lined into right field, a base hit. The line keeps moving still. 5 straight hits have opened the top of the 8th. And it's a not-so-comfortable 2-run Houston lead. But it's been a whole different story since Lance McCullers was removed after 6 1/3. That's when, not coincidentally, the Royals lineup has come to life. Here's Kendrys Morales now, the switch hitter batting from the right side. He went 0 for 3 against McCullers as a left-handed batter today. The power from Morales comes left-handed. Still a good hitter from the right side, but as is the case for many switch hitters, higher average right, more pop left.
Well, you saw that changeup right there. It's almost that the Royals take their chances early in the count and then buckle down when they get 2 strikes. They don't have a lot of home run cuts with 2 strikes.
Back up the middle. Off Correa on into center field. Kansas City has tied it in the 8th. Four runs in with nobody out. They're going to score that as a tough luck E6.
Wow, I put down single because that's the first mistake I've made in 4 days now with my scorecards.
Get the whiteout out.
Here's Mike Moustakas. The infield is in. There's a pinch runner at first as Gerard Dyson takes over board for Morales.
Well, the Royals on the base pass did not take anything for granted right there. They were aggressive. They went first to third, and the runner on second got a good break to score all the way from second to tie this game up, and they're in a bonus situation now with nobody out.
Dyson will be going here really early.
The strike to Mike Moustakas. There's still nobody out. 6 consecutive hitters have reached base safely. 5 singles and an error. 4 runs. A nightmare situation for an Astros team that had grabbed a 6-2 lead moments earlier. 0-2 to Moustakas.
Well, with the infield in, Altuve in on the grass. Correa still could field the bag if they decide to steal here with Dyson. But another 2-strike count with the Royals battling with 2 strikes. Somehow, some way, Moustakas is going to have to make contact.
John, you're right about the positioning of the shortstop. Normally when the infield's in and a runner's on first with speed, he can walk to second base because of the way they're positioned. No one can get to the base. But you see Correa right there is actually almost halfway to where he can still cover if Dyson steals and they feel they have a shot at him and throw him out at second for an out. It's a different defense than you normally see, especially when the game's in the line and the infield's in.
1-2 to Moustakas, and something else to bear in mind as we move forward now in a tie game. Each team is without one of its major power threats. Drew Gutierrez on deck. He took over for Salvador Perez last inning. And Marwin Gonzalez was used earlier in place of Chris Carter for the Astros. Moustakas hammers that one just foul.
Nice play by the ball boy down there. One hand carrying the stool. Very nonchalant. Just snagged it. No big deal. Ho hum. Get a high five from the crowd. Go back to my stool. Watch this play by the ball boy. This ball's smoked right here. He gets up carrying the stool. No big deal. I'll catch it. Take a hand to the face by the fan in the front row. Sit right back down. Go back to chewing gum and watching the game.
Tony Sipp just trying to find a put-away pitch to get the first out of the inning. There goes Dyson. And that ball swung on and tipped foul at the plate. Dyson had a huge jump. The Royals started this inning 3 for 21 with runners in scoring position. This inning, they are 3 for 4 in those situations.
Crazy game.
Go ahead run 90 feet away with nobody out. We've talked about the adjustments that Mike Moustakas has made against left-handed pitching. And the fact that by this time of the season, it's really a lot harder to stunt him with situational changes. I mean, you're going to face him with a left-hander if you have the chance. However, Moustakas hit over 400 against left-handers in September.
Well, that's the adjustment of using the whole field, using left field, getting all those hits to left field, not just being a pull hitter, but now against lefty, he has the confidence to use the whole field and believe he can do it.
2 balls and 2 strikes. You're just watching a team, and with Altuve moving in more and more, the likelihood of Moustakas, I mean, think about the odds of hitting the ball right at Altuve, that's what they're hoping to prevent the winning, the go-ahead run from scoring. But I have watched this all series, and as a pitcher, you just have to tip your hat sometimes to a hitter who keeps spoiling pitches and then changes his approach. There's not a lot of teams, lineup 1 through 9, that could do this. And that patience, we talked about power versus patience. The patience is finally paying off for the Royals.
2-2. Stock is really giving Sip a battle here.
This is why the Royals don't strike out. They don't walk, but they also don't strike out. It's because they put these at-bats on you, John. They foul pitches off. They put the ball in play, which keeps the pressure on the defense. And this at-bat right here by Moustakas is the perfect example of a typical Royals at-bat over the last couple of years, especially in the postseason.
There's a guy in their dugout hoping to get the ball in Game 5, Johnny Cueto. And at least now the heartbeat's back, thinking you might have a chance.
Guy you just saw, Wade Davis, might be ready for a 6-out save. There goes Dyson again. Moustakas takes a ball up and in. Dyson's able to steal the base. Does it without a throw.
We talked about the awkward defense earlier. You can see Correa doesn't even cover. Therefore, Dyson has an easy shot at stealing second base. That's when the infield's in, that's the position you're put in because you can't clear the shortstop in order to open up the entire left side of the field. You have to concentrate on the runner at third. That's the one that really matters.
Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second and third with 4 runs in and nobody out.
Now, John, as a catcher right here, I know Drew Butera's on deck. And he doesn't exactly have the hitting resume that a Salvador Perez has. So you have righties warming up in the pen. You can throw whatever pitch you want. You just want to make it a quality pitch because if you walk Moustakas here, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Plus, it brings the force play and all bases into play.
Josh Fields is up in the bullpen for Houston. A swing and a miss. And here is Kansas City pulling even immediately. So the call's gone out for the closer, Luke Gregerson, who will try to hold this at 6-6. The infield in, runners at second and third with 1 away for the catcher Drew Butera, making his first ever postseason plate appearance.
You can bet there's going to be a slew of sliders. Going through the signs, it's not out of the possibilities for a safety type squeeze or even a squeeze.
I'm thinking suicide squeeze. He's out of the windup. There's no way to change his motion. Butera, it's definitely in the realm of possibility.
Six years in the big leagues, and Drew Butera playing in the postseason for the first time. Came on defensively for Sal Perez, and again, his first at bat here this afternoon. Hosmer and Dyson aboard with 1 away. Boy, Hosmer's making you think about it, isn't he?
Well, it's amazing to me, you know, I know how hard it is to hit. Obviously, I've made a living trying to make sure that was possible, but the fact is that you know a slider's coming and that pitch is about 2 feet off the plate, and the anxiousness, now he hasn't got many reps at the plate.
You're exactly right, John. It's knowing what's coming and being able to lay off the ball sliders that makes good hitters good and bad hitters bad.
Wow. He almost yanked that one all the way to a different town.
Wow.
That is an amazing stop. I want to say that was skill, but that ball just found his glove because that ball was actually by him. And Castro, if they don't score to take the lead right here, you can give Jason Castro a huge pat on the back, as A.J. Hinch knows well, being an ex-catcher.
Again, Hosmer and Dyson aboard with 1 away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Butera. Hit play and foul.
Hosmer's jockeying with Gregerson up and down the line, especially since Gregerson is out of the windup. Usually with the infield in and less than 2 outs, I prefer my pitcher to go out of the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, he'd be looking right at the runner. And I'm not saying Hosmer could make it, but if Gregerson goes with the same windup he's gone with these first 4 or 5 pitches to Butera, it'd be closer than you think. Not that they're going to do that or try that, but it would be interesting.
Well, the question's going to be, you know, only the third base coach will have alerted whether they're going on contact or not, or have to get the ball through. But out of the windup, Hosmer could technically get a big enough lead that on softer contact, he could score even with the infield in. Now a bullet, that's a different case.
Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Full count.
After watching, you're talking about going on contact and not going on contact. After the ball Butera put in play, Eric Hosmer didn't move. So as a catcher, you always want to know, hey, can I get a heads up whether he's going on contact or making it go through? He didn't move right away. So for me, that tells me that he's not going on contact. Maybe that's changed here with the full count. But as a catcher, you look up and see him not go anywhere. That tells me he's making it go through.
The 3-2 home. Luke Gregerson faced the Royals as an Oakland A in last year's come-from-behind wildcard win, and although there were no earned runs charged to Gregerson, he came on in that 4-run rally, threw a wild pitch, and allowed damage on someone else's watch. It is an eerily similar situation here against Kansas City. Butera spoiling him off to stay alive at 3-2.
I'm telling you, I mean, Hosmer can run. I hear what you're saying too. If it was maybe even somebody else and they don't get the job done here, he could steal home based on how slow he's going out of the delivery if he times it right. Obviously no chance to do that right now as Butera is battling at home plate with 3-2 count.
The next full count pitch.
We keep talking about Hosmer and scoring or stealing home or whatever it is, but you can only, as a runner at third, take a lead as big as the third baseman is off the bag. So you're always looking at the third baseman saying, okay, he's 4 steps off. I can get 4 steps without feeling uncomfortable. The time that it's really uncomfortable is when you're in the shift. The defense is in a shift, and you feel like you're all the way at home plate, and you're about halfway down because there's no one behind you.
And Butera is able to check his swing and draw ball 4. What a terrific plate appearance.
I actually think that walk ends up being the best thing that could have happened for the Astros. If he weren't to strike out, that's a different story. But now they have a semi-chance for a double play with Gordon and his groin not running as well.
First offering here is swung on and missed.
It's still interesting he's going out of the windup. I still would want my pitcher, especially with the double play set up, to go out of the stretch, because the guy on first now can get a bigger lead because he knows there's no possibility, the first baseman's in front of him, there's no possibility of them possibly picking behind me with the pitcher and the first baseman. I mean, Gregerson's giving these guys gigantic secondary leads. If there's a ball hit anywhere in the outfield, not that Dyson wouldn't score anyways, but it makes it a lot easier on him.
Hosmer, Dyson, and Butera aboard with 1 away. The last 2 plate appearances for Kansas City, the strikeout to Moustakas, and then Butera drawing the walk. Total 21 pitches. I mean, 2 terrific plate appearances, one ending a little better than the other. But this is what the Royals have done all year long. And as John mentioned earlier, a team that grinds out at-bats, 1 on, 1 off, keep the line moving. It's exactly what's happened here in this 4-run 8th. Gordon bounces it to second. Altuve gets to it to get the out of the bag, but the Royals have scored their 5th run of the inning to take a 7-6 lead. This half inning has taken over a half an hour in taking a lot of that life out of the home crowd. Here's Alex Rios, who started it all with a base hit a half an hour earlier.
It seems like 2 months ago since Alex Rios led off this inning with a hit.
Will Harris opened the inning. And then Tony Sipp, and now Gregerson. 30 minutes ago, we were talking about the Astros being 6 outs away from an ALCS berth. And now it's Kansas City talking about being 6 outs away from forcing a Game 5 back at Kauffman Stadium and giving Johnny Cueto a chance.
Now with Dyson on third, there is a real possibility of him stealing home.
No swing on the appeal. 2 balls and a strike. Dyson's got a huge walking lead. I mean, he's drifting halfway to the plate.
You got to think he's thinking about it, right? That's got to be the hardest thing in the world to do, is pull that trigger, knowing that you got second and third and you're a hit away from really getting yourself a nice cushion.
But if he can walk home and steal another run, can you imagine the momentum that would give the Royals right here if he stole home?
I'll tell you what, he sped up that delivery a little bit right there.
And I think that's affecting Gregerson's ability, because he has to check the runner, and it messes with his timing of his motion. You see Dyson fake break right here, and Gregerson usually has a little bit longer of a pause, but he couldn't do that because he saw Dyson take off. And even after he let the pitch go, you saw him kind of sneak a sideways glance over there at him.
It's 3 balls and a strike now to Alex Rios. Ball 4. And the 11th Royal of the inning will have a chance at the plate. Escobar's been hit by a pitch, singled and scored. The base hit, the run came this inning. A strike, and it's 0-1.
These Royals just keep bringing in guys that can fly. Dyson, Gore, Orlando, when I was with the White Sox, and he first was signed by them, he was our designated pinch runner in spring training for me. And he would score every time. Steal second, steal third, if I ever got on base, that is. 0-2. Joey Corey used to call him our spring training MVP, because he'd get on, every time he seemed to come into a game, he'd score a run. And he was so fast, and people didn't know him because he had number 89 on his back or something. And he would hit a chopper in the infield, and guys would lay back on it. And he's already almost on second base by the time they threw it to first.
Bottom of the 8th, and Houston will have 9-1-2. Castro, Altuve, and Springer. Again, bear in mind some of the changes here that have taken Evan Gattis away, Chris Carter away. Alex Rios has been subbed out. So is Sal Perez. So is Kendrys Morales. That's a little more important for the Astros at this point, trailing and hoping not to trail by any more than just a run at the end of this inning.
And Butera had an incredible unnoticed at-bat that won't go in the scorebooks as something you were going to recognize other than a walk, but a big one. Not playing a lot and coming in and facing the closer and facing a bunch of sliders. Very, very important walk that led to the go-ahead run.
Again, the Rangers and Blue Jays are on MLB Network. We'll bring you that one as soon as this one comes to an end, whenever that may be. It's already a 4-0 Toronto lead in Arlington. You know, nobody expects out of Luke Gregerson to be that big-time velocity put-away closer. But in the postseason, you see the difference between having that plus stuff closer and a guy that does it on guile and finesse.
Yeah, he almost has to pick and choose his spots to throw a fastball. His fastball is a show pitch for that slider.
And he's still checking out Dyson. He's still worried about him.
Here's the next 1-2.
Dyson had him right there. You can't go with 2 strikes, but he's looking over and he's going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because Gregerson put his head down this time. More times than not, he's looking. Now watch him put his head down right there. He's got it. But you can't go with 2 strikes.
He wants to go.
Oh,
taking everything in his power for being over there all this time to not go. And Ned Yost, he's looking into the dugout of Ned Yost saying, just please let me go. If there was less than 2 strikes, again, I wouldn't be surprised if he would have tried it.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Got it. Snuck the fastball past him on 1-2. The Royals don't like the call, but they certainly love the end result of the inning. To the bottom of the 8th, Kansas City has taken a 7-6 lead.